Namaste to all, or as they say in Finnish, Hiva Paiva. So we'll just wait for a couple of more minutes for everyone to join in. Yeah. Namaste all, or as they say in Finnish, Hiva Paiva. A very good afternoon to all the participants. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to Wood from Finland India 2020 Forum. Today's forum brings together industry experts and leaders from both Finland and India. They bring in their years of experience and share with you their insights on potential and opportunities for certified softwood from Europe and Indian markets. The webinar is organized with support from Business Finland, Finnish Sawmills Association, and Wood from Finland. Clarotico Solutions is a knowledge partner for the webinar. In today's session, Dr. Jukka Holapa will be giving us a brief overview of Business Finland and Wood from Finland program, followed by an informative video about Finnish timber. This will be followed by speaker presentations, and then we have a 10-minute participant interaction. So it will be free for you all the time. You will have there's a Q&A section at the bottom of the screen. So please feel free to type in questions during any time of the webinar, and we will take it up during the participant interaction time that we have. So without further delay, let's begin today's informative session. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Holapa. Dr. Holapa heads Business Finland activities in India. He is responsible for initiatives such as Export Finland, Invest in Finland, Visit Finland, and innovation funding activities in India. Over to you, Jukka.
Thank you so much, Sveta, and good afternoon. It's afternoon in Finland, isn't it? Also, so good afternoon to my Finnish friends. Greetings from Delhi. Welcome all to this extremely interesting and extremely important webinar. Happy to see so many of you here. Thanks to our Business Finland team. Thanks to Finnish Sawmills Association. Thanks to companies. Thanks to my Indian colleagues. Thanks to Clayrut for being our partner when putting this webinar together. Actually, I hope that this will be more like interaction instead of webinar, because I think we are all suffering from webinar fatigue. So let's keep this a bit more interactive. There's a lot of discussion about sustainability and sustainable business and climate change and stuff, even during these COVID times. And to be honest, I cannot think of a more sustainable business than the forest industry in Finland. Sawn timber is a product that binds the carbon stored in forests for centuries. In Finland, our forests are the biggest natural resource we have, and we know how to capitalize our forests. And in a sustainable way as well. Although we are a small country, we are a large player globally when it comes to creating business around forests. And also sawn timber export is very, very important for whole Finland. Best products come from Finland, as you will learn today. So as Sveta introduced me, my name is Jukka Holapa and I'm heading the Indian operations for Business Finland. We are a commercial arm of the Finnish embassy here, so located in New Delhi. And Business Finland is actually a very unique governmental organization. We have 5 mandates. First mandate, export promotion, so it's our role to help Finnish companies. Second, we are the invest in arm for Finland, so it's our role to attract foreign direct investments. 3, we are the tourism arm of Finland, so it's our role to attract tourists globally to Finland. 4th, we are the innovation funding an R&D funding agency of Finland. Our annual budget is about 600 million euros. And 5th mandate we have from the Finnish government is the talent attraction mandate. So it's our role to attract the best possible international talent to Finland. Within this export promotion activities, we have organized our operations under programs. So instead of focusing to helping individual companies, we want to create more value to Finnish companies by helping company groups. And Wood from Finland is one of our spearhead programs. And it's a very, very active collaboration with Finnish Sawmills Association. And India is the focus country for our Food from Finland program. Of course, introducing few key people from Business Finland. Mr. Kari Hiltunen is here present. He is managing this important program from the Finnish side. I have Mr. Darmes, Mr. Kurpri from my India team present here as well. I think Kari will say a few words at the end of the event today. We've been active here in India with Wood from Finland program for a couple of years now already, kind of laying the foundation. There have been few delegations in India since 2017. We have taken part in India Wood in Bangalore 2018, and also this year before this whole COVID mess started. Finnish companies have also participated in Delhi Wood 2019. A few delegations in India besides those events as well. And we have also been doing few seminars in order to educate. I can use the word educate in order to educate Indian trade regarding Finnish high quality products and what all can be done with those. But now kind of we want to shift gears towards more proactive and coordinated effort. As Finnish government, we want to expand, we want to extend the Finnish business in this sector further to new product categories, new geographies, and it's our role to facilitate the business of Finnish companies. So our role is to help Finnish sawmills any way we can. And that also means that we can help the Indian side, the Indian trade. So please do not hesitate to contact us if you think that Finnish government could support you anyhow. Again, welcome. Thanks for joining. Thanks for all my colleagues putting this together. Have a great session. Let's keep this interactive. And as Sveta mentioned, I think we will see a video now and then looking forward to hearing from Mr. Merivuori. But Sveta, over to you and the video.
Yes, Kai. I'll just in a moment, we'll see the video.
Finnish pine and spruce come from sustainably managed and certified forests. Finnish timber is slowly grown, straight-grained, and knots are few and small in size. Therefore, it is an excellent material to be used in harsh weather conditions as exterior cladding. Not even the best surface treatment is able to make the cladding durable if the wood itself is too quickly grown. Finnish wood is selected sawn timber material. Exterior cladding is used in wooden houses, but it also works remarkably well when renovating old concrete buildings. Balconies, pediments, or windowless walls decorated with wood enliven painted cladding. During the mildest season of the year, the terrace or garden are like second living rooms. Finnish wood used for pergolas, terrace boards, lattices, and garden sheds make the space cozy. The timber can be painted, thermo-treated, or impregnated. Finished sawn timber is well kiln dried, which reduces the shakes effect, and its normal moisture content is already so low that impregnation chemicals penetrate properly into wood. Durable, slowly grown Finnish wood is an excellent choice for exterior cladding. The recently cut logs are brought to the log yard by a truck or sometimes by a train. At log grading, the quality is checked and the logs are graded automatically into defined cutting classes. A front loader feeds the logs into the cutting line. First, the logs go into the debarking machine, then to the cutting unit. At the control room of the sawmill, the production process is being monitored from log transportation and peeling stage to the cutting stage. Often, the round surface of the log is chipped before the sawn blades separate the sideboards from the log. After this, the center part of the log is divided into the requested number of deals, scantlings, and battens according to the instructions of the production planning and sales. After cutting, the fresh sawn timber goes into the sticking department where the loads are prepared, which are then put into drying kilns. Temperature in the kilns is usually between 65 and 70 degrees Celsius. Kilning process takes usually between 2 and 10 days, depending on the thickness of the wood and the required moisture content after kilning. When the goods have been taken away from the kilns, the temperature of the wood has to reach the outdoor temperature. Sawmills increasingly use automated optic eye grading. But the best result can only be reached when a human eye is controlling and adjusting this system. Graded timber goes into stacks where the packages are wrapped in protective paper or plastic according to the customer's wish.
Finnish thermally modified timber, also known as thermowood, is a wood material produced with a natural method developed in Finland. It is an excellent choice for both exteriors and interiors. Thanks to its attractive appearance, thermowood is a popular material for facades and exterior claddings. Terraces, gardens, and other outdoor constructions are also typical end uses. For the interiors, thermowood is ideally suited for spas, saunas, and interior cladding panels. Thermowood is a non-toxic material, and its beautiful brown tones are created by natural methods. Only heat and steam are used in the manufacturing process. No chemicals are added whatsoever. Heat treatment at around 200 degrees Celsius has an impact on several properties of wood, changing them permanently. During the thermal modification process, the resin is removed from the wood. As a result, the wood does not secrete resin even in high temperatures. Thermowood is a dimensionally stable material with reduced thermal conductivity, which makes it the perfect choice for all climates. With thermal modification, the wood is transformed into a durable material that is weather and decay resistant. The quality of Finnish thermowood production is monitored by an independent external party. Thermowood has a consistent brown color, which makes its visual appearance similar to tropical hardwoods. Produced from certified Finnish forests, thermowood is the environmentally friendly option for diverse end uses. Non-toxic, dimensionally stable, suitable for all climates. Finnish thermowood is an excellent choice for sustainable, high-quality living.
Thank you, everyone. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce you all to Kai Merivuru, who is the Managing Director of Finnish Sawmills Association. Kai brings with him enormous experience. He has a solid track record with the international sawmill industry and its role with the forest industry sector. He has thorough understanding of the value chain from forest to the customers. He has been involved, Mr. Merivuru has been involved in developing the Finnish forest policy and legislation, the National Forest Program and Strategy 2025. On to you, Kai. Kai?
Thank you very much, Shweta.
Yeah.
Yes, I wish you all welcome, dear Indian timber trade professionals. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Naval Kedia, the President, Federation of All India Timber Merchants, Sawmillers and Allied Industries, as well as Mr. Abrar Ahmed, Vice President, Head of Total Environment Machinecraft, for joining us and sharing your views of the softwood timber. My name is Kai Merivuori and I represent Finnish private sawmills. I will tell you something about the global timber trade and not so much about Finnish trade only. The business has become very global during the last 10-15 years and wood is traveling more than ever. And it is a question of changes in the supply balance globally. First of all, as you know, there are many issues driving our businesses, and one of the biggest is the climate change. But I have actually quite good news. But before going to the good news, let's look at the situation globally, unless we do anything in order to mitigate the climate change. It is projected that the temperature will increase almost by 5 degrees unless we do anything. And the biggest challenge is what we have in China, Europe, and also, as you can see in this picture, India. However, most of the countries have taken steps to mitigate the climate change. India has set 3 quantitative climate change goals. First of all, reductions in the emissions. And this is what we all have to do: get rid of fossil fuels, improve energy efficiency, and so forth. The second goal is to shift from fossil fuels to renewable fuels in electricity generation. And the last one is to increase the carbon sinks. All these activities are extremely important, and the goals cannot be achieved by focusing on one of these only. When going to the carbon sink business, forests and wood is definitely a part of the solution. Forests capture carbon from the atmosphere and work as carbon stocks. And if we use wood for wood products, it is possible that the carbon captured by the forests continues its cycle even for centuries. But this is possible only if the forests which we use for wood product production are sustainably managed. And this is one of the biggest challenges what we have at the moment globally. We need to reforest and we need to manage and cherish our existing forests. One way to do is to make sure that the origin of the wood is from sustainably managed forests is different kind of forest certification schemes. Most of them are good. I introduce here a couple of them, which of course you are professionals, you know probably both certificates, they are very good. Finland is mainly certified by PFC, but FSC is also gaining space here. PFC suits a little bit better to the Finnish forest practices because our forests are owned by private people, private families. We have, you know, our country is quite small. We have only 5 million inhabitants in the whole country. But about every 6th person owns forest. So practically every family has at least relatives who own forest. FSC was originally designed for larger forest owners, institutional forest owners, but both of these certificates work very well. So I would like to urge everybody to make sure that the wood products, what you're buying, are certified. And please promote these certifications in India as well. Let's go to the international sawn softwood markets. Our wood comes from the boreal coniferous forest belt, which is located in the north. And Finland is, as you know, located west of Russia, between Sweden and Russia. And in the picture, you can see how our forests look in the winter. Another source for coniferous wood, softwood source, is the temperate coniferous forests, which are located more in the south and on mountainous areas. And the species are different, but softwood is available from both growing areas. This picture describes how sawn timber is traveling nowadays. And as you can see, many of the arrows head to Asia. China has become the biggest importer of wood, and the main sources for the Indian timber trade are Russia, Canada, and Europe. The trade flows change. We have a lot of issues affecting the trade flows. For instance, if we take Canada, British Columbia has been one of the leading areas of softwood sawn timber supply, but they have major challenges with an insect called mountain pine beetle, which has killed hundreds of millions of cubic meters of logs during the last 20 years. And the losses are substantial. The Canadians have been able to produce sawn wood out of the defected logs for quite a long time, even 15 years after the trees have died. And that's possible because the circumstances have been dry enough, the wood not to rot soon. If we look at Russia, Russian production of sawn timber has rapidly increased, and they are exporting very big volumes, especially to China. However, the Russians are challenged by lack of infrastructure in the forests. So the wood is not cheap, which is coming out of Russia in the future. And currently they are struggling with the same challenge at what we are. The autumn has been very wet, and the transportation of logs has been very challenging. In Central Europe, we have some challenges as well. A lot of stormwood, forests destroyed by storm and then attacked by beetle are on the market. The price is quite low, but locally it's been a catastrophe, especially for the forest owners. The wood is coming to the market. The Germans and the Czech especially are exporting both logs and sawn timber to different destinations, but the possibilities to use these defective logs for a long time are much more limited than in Canada. And then, of course, if we look at the US, big possibilities to increase production in the southern states, otherwise more or less stable production. But as you know, the US is the biggest softwood market in the world, and this Canadian problem will shrink Canada's possibilities to export as big volumes as what they have done earlier to the US and China as well. So also other countries, Europe and Latin America are supplying the US market currently. Then we have North Africa and Middle East. Their forest resources are very limited. Nevertheless, the consumption, they have great traditions of using wood, and they have been major markets for us Finns for, let's say, 30 years already. One of the biggest areas. The biggest producer countries of softwood are the US, Canada, Russia, China, Germany, Sweden, followed by Finland. So Finland is the 7th in production. And as you can see, the production is increasing. The Chinese production is based on log imports. Otherwise, the productions are based on domestic logs. Please pay attention on Canada. The production is going down, and it will go further down. And Russia is increasing, and I think they have possibilities to increase the production somewhat, but as I told you, they have some challenges as well. The biggest import countries of sawn softwood in the world are China, exponential growth, the US, and then come UK. Great traditions of using wood, and China, for instance, our wood has been used mainly for furniture industries, but also other end uses like landscaping and decoration, interior and exterior decoration are increasing their market share. Finland is the 7th biggest producer of sawn softwood, but it is the 4th exporter. So softwood trade is a big share of it is domestic trade. But in Finland, since we are a nation of only 5 million people, we have a big volume for exports as well. So we export about 75% of our production nowadays. Here you have a picture from Central Europe. You can see the mountain slopes, how they look after the storm and after harvesting the storm areas. And on the right-hand side, you see logs which are about 6 to 9 months old. They start to turn black, and their properties, let's say, especially the color, starts to suffer very quickly. Couple words of the Finnish sawmills. The trend has been increasing already since the 19th century. I think the first sawmill was built in Finland in 1540, so we have some traditions in this. We still have more trees in our forests, and they grow faster than ever, even though we have used them for already, according to these statistics, more than 150 years. And of course, on the top of the sawmills, we also have big pulp and paper industries. So if you take care of your forests, you can simultaneously increase the volumes of the forest, the wood in the forests, and also use the wood for industrial end uses. Our output in 2017 was 11.7 million and this year it will be about 10 million. We have lost production this year, and one of the reasons has been the COVID. Another reason was we had some labor issues at the beginning of the year. What we want to do is we want to focus on customer needs. We are very different from the North American suppliers. We produce the products, the sizes, the qualities, what the customers want to have. Japan is a good example. When we started to export to Japan, we didn't know anything about the Japanese specification. Nowadays, we export only Japanese specification there. And the same is taking place to a smaller extent in China as well. Our main export countries are Egypt, China, Japan, UK. In the old days, we used to export everything to Europe, but nowadays about 25% stays in Finland, 25 Europe, 25 North Africa and Middle East, and 25 Asia. To make a long story short, please remember that wood is a solution in mitigating the climate change, but only if the wood comes from sustainably managed forests. The demand of wood products is growing, so it is utmost important that all users of wood, they find their own supply, regular supply, providing the goods what you really need. And of course, in the short term, the availability of wood is limited by natural disasters and trade politics, not talking about COVID-19, but actually the market is growing, and currently it seems to be that the Finns start to sell the first quarter earlier than usually, because the COVID has actually activated the market. Do-it-yourself people, they stay at home, and they have seen that now it is the time to renovate their houses. This has been a big surprise. Let's see how it continues. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for listening to us. Please remember the Finnish sawmills. We are reliable suppliers of customer-driven, recyclable, low-carbon footprint sawn softwood. Nevertheless, the main thing is that you keep safe, take care of your families during this virus epidemic. You are more than welcome to join us in Finland. And unless you come to Finland, we come back to India. Let's meet as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kai. It was so wonderful to have that perspective from you. Yeah. Now I think we will move on to our next participant, Mr. Kedia. Mr. Kedia brings in an enormous experience. He is the president of Federation of All India Timber Merchants, Sawmillers and Allied Industries since 2019. The Federation is the apex body of primary level woodworking industries and merchants in India. They work on various subjects like agroforestry, skill development, creating awareness on sustainable sourcing. Mr. Kedia began his journey way back in 1971, his entrepreneurial journey in 1971, and he brings his enormous experience on the forum today. He also has established his own, he has established Costa Woods, his brand, which is Pan India wood business conglomerate, and it has manufacturing units across India with products like veneers, plywoods, door frames, etc. And they have been FSC certified for 5 years now. So with great pleasure, I welcome Mr. Kedia. Over to you, Mr. Kedia.
Am I audible?
Yes, Mr. Kedia.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, as my daughter quoted after her visit to your Finland, that Finland is one of the coldest countries with the warmest people and country of lakes. She visited 3 years back and she quoted this narration to me before we meet each other. A warm welcome to the very warm Finland in our country. And that is exactly why we are here today. To bring Finland into India, to look at the prospect, opportunities, and to become a regular wood customer. As you are also focusing on that, we welcome your thinking as well as ours. First of all, I like to say something about my federation, whom I represent. My federation has about 70,000 sawmillers, whose its primary object is to encourage farming, agro farming, sustainable wood certificate with sustainable wood certificate, skill development and training courses in sawmilling, carpentry and wood seasoning, particularly with rural sawmills. The Federation works towards developing, growing and supporting timber industry in the best ways possible with support from Ministry of Environment and Forest. Why India? Why India? India has a vast, although India has the Himalayan ranges which can be explored, but due to government regulations, the rich forest of pine wood, cheer wood, khasi pine wood remain untouched except for government harvesting. Import of pine wood in India, as Mr. Mirubori already knows, started way back in 1997, with one shipload of 30,000 cubic meter from South Africa. Currently, our country, we are importing about 2 million cubic meter annually. We are associated with all these countries. We have already imported in smaller quantity or large quantity. We have already imported from Australia, Austria, Canada, New Zealand, Poland, South Africa, US and Uruguay. This is the import of softwood in India. Due to pandemic, we could not import much in 2020, that is a little less. Otherwise, it is all about 2 million cubic meter from the countries named here. Uruguay is the recent addition. We are finding New Zealand and Uruguay competing each other now. And we have, as FSC forest, we have 3 states in India which has started FSC material supplying to the buyers. That is Uttar Pradesh, Tripura and Gujarat. Now, why we are looking towards Finland? Finland has 3/4 of land area under forest, which is used sustainably and can supply to countries needing sustainable forest product. We have a ready market for Finland with custom sized sawn wood in grade 2 and 3. kg, that is 16 and up for pallets for industrial uses, which is presently being imported from Lithuania, Ukraine, Poland, and Austria. We are sure that Finland can be quite competitive. We can use good quality of birch, Sylvester pine, spruce, and pine for furniture also. We need good timber for furniture also. Also, we need not only sawwood, we are looking for logs also in bulk. There are number of customers looking towards Finland to start dealings. How we can go for it? What we both have to do? Prices should be competitive, and your grading system has to be clarified. What is the difference between each grading? Because here the customer does not know much about grading systems. So they may have to be taught about that or informed about that. India needs quality material, yet with competitive price. Hence, we want to go for stock lots. And if stock lots can be provided, we may select our preferences. We would like to have an interact and visit of delegates to both countries to do after slowdown of pandemic. Our business can be done more and more if terms are relaxed and a trust is developed. This is the way how the timber comes to our country, unloading, then reaches factory, then work in progress. Here, as Mr. Moribo was telling Moribo, you have auto sewing, still we have manual sewing. I like to show we have manual sewing. Then we air dry, we have seasoning chambers, but still we have only, and this is transportation from local sawmill to the dispatching station and then final dispatch, transportation. Now, last about our own company, my own company, Costa. We are in wood business for more than 5 decades, and we started as a trading company. Since 2005, we are manufacturing multiple products. We are makers of all kinds of floorings, doors, pallets, plywood, and we need material for exterior and interior claddings from Finland. We need it badly, and we are located in 3 countries. I like to say now that we are looking for 15 to 20% import growth in our country, expecting that it will be 15 to 20% growth. Demand is huge in India. It is going to be more and more, and looking forward to developing a healthy and lifetime business with Finland. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Kedia for your presentation and the insights that you have offered. In fact, I think the entire purpose of this forum was to actually start creating this dialogue between the 2 countries. And I think we are doing it beautifully. So thank you once again. Now on to our next speaker, Mr. Abrar Ahmed. He's the Vice President at Total Environment Building Systems. So for participants, I would just, for participants, I would like to share this, that Total Environment is one of the first uh, developers in India to kind of integrate nature into living spaces. They have their, they are now across India and even in US. And Abrar is a seasoned professional with 22 years of extensive experience. And he has established several production lines under one label, that is Total Environment Machine Crafts at Total Environment. Currently, he heads complete woodworking and metalworks manufacturing setup, which primarily makes all types of doors, windows, glazings, facades, and is also involved in design, production of formwork and scaffolding, and so total environment specific hardware. So basically, Abrar has been the backbone for total environment in kind of setting up the woodworking section. And over to you, Abrar. I'm sure participants would be delighted to hear from you.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, Finland team. Thank you for inviting me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and good afternoon to the people who are in the other part of the world. Yes, as Shweta introduced, I am from Total Environment. I have been working in Total Environment since almost 22.5 years. Today, I'll be sharing my insight about certified wood in the India. So before that, I would like to introduce about our company Total Environment. Before sharing the insight about certified wood, I will be sharing only purely from business perspective. Mr. Kai very well demonstrated how the good effect of certified wood on sustainable environment and the climatic conditions. So I would be focusing more about the business here. Business from construction and furniture industry perspective. As everyone, I would like to take everyone to about 7 to 8 years back, as everyone aware that as Indian economy started growing, even real estate started growing, the demand for housing also started. So wood being one of the primary material of the construction industry and the furniture industry, there was a huge gap started developing between the demand and the supply. As economy growing, as company started growing, real estate companies, in the same case, Total Environment also grown, and we had a very big plans to set up a very well organized woodworking production facility in Bangalore. In way back, say 2013 and 14, we almost finalized a very good, very high-end machineries from European countries. And as everyone aware, our country being a hardwood focused country, we were a bit skeptical about supply of raw materials, since India is a hardwood highly it consumes high percentage of hardwood compared to softwood. If we invest money into technology and setting up the factory, what if there is a shortfall of raw material? Say for woodworking industry, raw material is primarily wood. That is where we started learning about certified wood. We started adopting about certified wood. We took almost 1.5 to 2 years to do R&D, to study about the raw material. Certified wood being a softwood, because earlier we were used to hardwood. We had to design our product. We had to design all the joinery. We had to design our tools. Slowly we started adopting and started using softwood from 2015 onwards. We started with a consumption of almost 900 to 1000 CBM per year. See, as I said, before we started focusing on setting up the large organized sector. So I would like to take you through our core philosophy about our company. The Total Environment, as everyone are aware, the Total Environment construction group with many capability lines, including design, production unit. So see, this is our core philosophy. If you see here, we are stressing few words: natural materials, efficient use of resources, raw materials, and in order to contribute to a sustainable world. What we do, we combine our design skills with excellent craftsmanship to deliver homes of the highest quality, striving to design and build most beautiful homes in the world. For this, we wanted to depend on technology and we wanted to scale up our industry. That is where the role of certified wood came into the picture, because we don't wanted to invest money and into something which is very uncertain. That was the availability of the hardwood. How we started using certified wood? What is the reason to start the certified wood? So, as I said, a business perspective of construction and furniture industry only. To mitigate the gap between the increase in demand and the short of supply. What is the gap? See, there was an increase in demand for the wood. I am talking about the entire wood, the hardwood and the softwood. One more gap started developing, because if we are aware, since 2012 onwards, government started putting restriction on import of hardwood. And also on the other region, import of hardwood started depleting due to depleting tropical forest. This is where the role of certified wood came into the picture. We started adopting a certified wood to mitigate the gap between the increase in demand. And next, hassle-free transaction and to eliminate the uncertainties. Hassle-free transaction means what? Because as everyone are aware, hardwood comes with a different botanical name due to its restriction on import and export of the companies. And also, as a total environment core philosophy, we don't want it to depend on something with a different botanical name. And to have a secure, larger supply of term with legal, certified and controlled sustainable resources. One second. Switch on. Okay. Sorry, yeah. And better workability, consistent in terms of appearances and structural stability. Better workability in the sense, because we started adopting new technology machines, we designed new tools. We don't want it to have problems with our machinery and tools. That is the reason why I adopted this certified wood. To enhance productivity and business, properties in par with hardwood for Indian climate, especially with weather resistant abilities. Properties in the sense, the physical properties of the wood, and also weathering resistance means how the wood is behaving with the weather when it comes to warpage, termite resistance, etc. So certified wood started performing very well in par with the hardwood. And also to honor commitments made to our customers and to make them feel comfortable. This is where, when during the period of 2010, 11, 12, 14, what we made commitment sometime back, we were finding it very difficult to honor the commitment while using the hardwood, because since, construction industry, we design homes, it will take, there will be a gap of 3 to 4 years. In that duration, many governments, started putting restrictions on the export and the import of hardwood. That is where we started finding difficulties. On the other hand, we had a very huge demand for the wood. In company's perspective, that is where we started adopting certified wood as one more alternative. Since 2015-16, we have successfully using certified wood, and almost 20 to 22% every year we are increasing the consumption. We had some hiccups during last 2-3 years due to demonetizations and recently a COVID. Hopefully post March 2021, our volumes are going to increase. We will be consuming at least 3.5 to 4,000 meter cube of wood per year. I'm talking about only softwood. And to maintain project as a green building to enhance its value, because as everyone are aware, total environment, as per our core philosophy, since day one, we use natural materials, we are focused, we are design oriented, and we always value for sustainable environment. That is also, that is the reason why we have adopted certified wood into our buildings. This is the growth of certified wood into India since 2007. If you see 2015 to 2019, a drastic increase in import. Now this gap is going to increase the moment the availability of hardwood, scarcity is the hardest. It is once it starts, this graph is going to there'll be a huge difference in this gap. This consumption of certified woods, especially the softwood, is going to increase drastically. So I'll be sharing some of our project photos. As Shweta mentioned, Total Environment Machine Craft Woodwork Factory, primarily we do production of all kinds of wooden products, primarily for our projects. We are into very high-end doors and windows, furnitures, kitchens, glazings and wooden floorings, and also glass glazings. Whatever you see in the pictures, all are designed, manufactured, and supplied from our factory. So this is to showcase how we adopted, certified wood along with the hardwood. This is our one of our project photograph. See here, it is again a combination of hardwood and softwood. All our glazings, facades will be in softwood and flooring will be in hardwood. This is how the residential projects. This is a render picture. This project is under construction in US, Windmills Craft Work. We are also into hospitality sector. Furniture for this building, for this project, completely done here at the Bangalore, and we have shipped to US. All furniture, facade, tables. This is one of our hospitality restaurant at Bangalore. All the works are done in-house. This is a render picture. This is our future project. Saucers full of secrets in Ooty. You can see, how our designs are in line with the environment. This is also in Ooty. That is a render picture. We are going to start this picture. You can see without changing the profile of landscape, we have accommodated the design into the construction. This is a residential project. This is the villa. About this villa is almost 10 years old. This is how we have done kitchen with certified wood. Even kitchen, most of the certified wood comes with softwood. Even we have kept it natural. Again, this is, you can see the kitchen, the living areas. This also we can see a combination of hardwood and certified wood, softwood, the wall cladding. This project render picture, this is the project at US, Frisco. We have just completed. There we have supplied all the doors and windows, furnitures, kitchen, everything from our working factory. This is the US project. This villa is almost 15 years old, where we have used certified wood for pergolas. This is the project at Bangalore. This is a recent project. This is how this is with completely with certified wood. We can achieve anything with the certified wood. So this is our factory. What we do when we get certified wood, sometimes mostly it comes with softwood. We engineer the wood rather using as it is to get much better structural stability. We engineer. This is we create into glue lamp. This indicates how we make composite with the hardwood, softwood and the hardwood. This is with the finger jointing. This is our automatic polishing line, because this does complete finishing, automatic finishing, automatic spray line, drying, everything happens in the chamber. This is my last slide. This is my insight about the certified wood and its growth in our country. This is what I have observed, what I have experienced over the last few years. India has a growing economy with population over 1 billion. That is an advantage. Increased per capita income, making families, individuals to aspire for better living, is fueling the demand for better housing, real estate. Wood being one of the primary material required for construction and furniture industry. As I said, there is a huge demand. There will be a good demand for the wood in our country. A major void created between demand and supply of wood due to growing real estate. Government restriction and felling of hardwood, curtailing the import and export of hardwood to harness stable and sustainable environment, which will result in shortfall of hardwood. Also due to deforestation of tropical regions, setting up of many furniture factories with the latest technology. This is what I feel. Total environment very early started, depending on the technology, and we don't want to depend on manual labor. So next decade from 2021 to 2030, our furniture industry will also be moving from unorganized sector to organized sector, and many big furniture making factories are going to come. And when the factories are going to come, the demand for certified wood is also going to increase. Government may also put restriction on imports of furniture. This is to support making India initiative. Chances are there. When they put restrictions, again the demand is going to increase. Architect preferences and suggestions using more of wood as a sign of luxury, etc., is going to increase the demand of in India, and is expected to grow more than 10% every year with respect to the current supply. A certified wood is and will be a major void filler. Its demand is going to increase, helping many industries to sustain their business for a longer period, which will then become major industry to fuel India's growth and economy. This is my perception, and this is what we have experienced. What I feel, there will be a good scope for Finnish sawmillers in India. As he rightly said, as Mr. Nabil suggested, sharing of knowledge, sharing of technical knowledge is very, very important to become a successful supplier. The reason being, India, we are used to, all our jointeries, all our design are used to a hardwood focus, right? But when it comes to softwood, we need to adopt different joinery systems. We need to convert raw wood into glulam lumber. These are all we need to educate to local sawmillers, local carpentry guys, because as I said, next decade also will be moving unorganized small carpentry sectors to a bigger organized sector. So this is very, very important. This is my insight about certified wood. And thank you all. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, entire Finnish team.
Thank you so much, Abrar, for a wonderful, insightful presentation, and also taking us, through that entire chain and showing those mesmerizing and timeless designs that Total Environment makes. So thank you so much. And there are so many takeaways from what you have presented, giving us perspective on why do you see the softwood, I mean, why do you see the softwood segment coming up, and quite insightful, this thing. So now thank you so much for this. Now we'll move on to our next. So from India, now we go to Finland, and we have Polly joining us. So Polly, Mr. Polly Altonen has a wide and long experience of mechanical wood industry. He has worked in timber production, further processing and sales. He's also experienced in product management and R&D, and timber related product groups like construction, joinery, interior, exterior products, controlling chain from the forest to end use. So he has worked mainly in timber sales and is responsible for JPJ wood oil sales, operating globally in Europe, MENA region, and Far East. So I would like to now I will pass it on to Polly to take it further.
Thank you, Shweta.
Yes, Polly, we can see your screen.
You can see my screen.
Polly, we can.
Okay. My purpose is tell a little bit about this Finnish softwood characteristics, and then how we use different part of the tree. But before presentation, I would like to tell a little bit about my company. JPJ Wood is a rather young sawmill company. We are located in central Finland. Company is founded 1994, and we cutting 170,000 cubic meters sawn timber, 45 employees, and Meyer species spruce. We producing standard sawn timber and also tailored customer solutions and stress graded products. Our technology or production units, those are rather new and latest technology, and we are working or selling our timber globally. Then when we start about this, speak about this Finnish softwood, we have two main species. We have spruce, which is growing here in northern coniferous zone, and then we have pine. Spruce density is around 450-480 kilograms per cubic meter, and the color of the fiber is quite homogeneous and light, and we call it as this spruce timber, we call it as a white wood. Then pine, density is around 540 kilograms per cubic meter, and the fiber color, there are difference between hardwood and softwood, and we call it as a redwood. When we speak about this amount of this species in Finland, we in our country growing a little bit more or some more redwood than whitewood. Whitewood is growing mainly in southern part of Finland, and redwood growing also North Finland. Then when we go deep tree trunk, I have now pine here, and there are different end uses for different part of the tree. And if we're starting from top, this tree top and branches going mainly to energy nowadays in Finland, we have heating plants where we burning chips which has been made out of this tree top and branches. Then when we going next part of the tree, it is mainly used for pulp, and from pulp, paper mills and this carton factories doing paper and raw material for packaging mainly at the moment. Then first part of the tree which going to sawing and sawn timber, we call it as a top log, and the character is mainly sound knotted. There are fresh knots, but those are mainly sound, and the final end uses mainly in Europe and in Finland are furnitures, laminated boards, and then we use this quality also for interior decoration. When we're going more down, we're coming to middle log, and character is a little bit different compared to top log. In middle part of the middle part of the tree, we have bigger knots, partly not so sound, and this part of the tree going mainly to block houses, and then also this window and door factories, or better say joinery components, is big part of the usage of this middle log. Then the worst quality is going to packaging and partly to garden constructions. When we're coming to the bottom part of the tree, there are a lot of, or the knots structure is smaller. There are black knots, but very small, and this sapwood is partly knotless. And this part of the tree going mainly to joinery industry. like windows, doors, moldings, but also for components. And this different part of the tree trunk is separated already in the forest. These harvester drivers and these computer programs, they separating these three log qualities already in the forest. Then we go into spruce. Again, tree top and branches going to energy purposes, and the top part of the tree going to pulp, paper, cartoon, packaging. And then in spruce, we don't separate this middle log separately because as I told before, the fiber is more homogeneous, and we normally cutting this or grading these top logs and bottom and middle logs separately. From top logs, we use mainly for furnitures, also interior and exterior decoration, laminated boards. Then this bottom and middle logs, or bottom part of the tree, going mainly for construction, like house frames, roof constructions, laminated beams, blockhouses, etc. And let's say 5 years ago, when supply from Finland to China started with bigger volumes, Chinese started to use this spruce for furnitures, and they replaced hardwood with Finnish spruce. So it's quite versatile species for different end uses. So this Finnish softwood, spruce and pine both, those has been very important part of people life here in Finland, and it has been important material, remarkable material for all kind of things which people has need in their life. And Finnish trees growing in well-managed forests, we take care of the forests very well, and when we cutting tree, we planting 4 new ones every time when we taking trees out of the forest. It is sustainable material for versatile end uses, and as mentioned before, timber has long carbon storage time, and it is solution for climate change. Here you can see building which has built 1400th century, so it's we can say that the softwoods which are growing in Finland are quite durable. Thank you, and now I think that Mr. Kähkönen continues from here.
Yeah. Thanks, Polly, for sharing such detailed information about Finnish wood. Yeah, I'm sure Heikki would like to continue from here. I'll just probably introduce to our audience Heikki a little bit. So Heikki Kakkonen is representing Kumoyo and Lisvedan Mitayo, 2 independent Finnish sawmills with experience in domestic and export sales. He is responsible for sales in Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Denmark, France, and Portugal, Morocco, and Turkey, and Saudi Arabia and India. So Heikki has joined Bangalore India Wood Show. So he has been to India before in 2018-19 and has spent quite some time in India. His experience in wood-based materials is not only sawn timber, but also further processing wood for construction. He has been a project manager. Kakkonen has taken part in development of wood construction, education, and product development. He has been in touch with CLT, our future construction material, which is already there since 2006. Over to you, Heikki.
Thank you very much, Sveta, for your kind words. And in my presentation, I'll try to bring together raw material, sawn timber, further processing, and final end use. And we already saw in the beginning of the webinar very informative video about the end uses of Finnish timber, and it was an excellent presentation about those beautiful buildings and construction and environment where you can use Finnish timber. And first about my background, I'm representing two mills, Kuhmo and Isveden Metsä. Kuhmo is located about 600 kilometers north from our capital, Helsinki, and it's in the middle of best vine log regions. And sawmill has been founded already 65 years ago. So we have quite a long experience how to cut pine and spruce. And in Kuhmo, share of pine is about 80% and spruce about 20% of total production. And the raw material, you can see in this picture that we are surrounded by raw material. Actually, even though the mill is in the middle of the city, you can see a lot of pine and spruce forests surrounding the mill. And the circle for raw material supply is around 100 kilometers from the mill. Then we have Isveden Metsä. It's about 400 kilometers north from Helsinki region. And Isveden Metsä is cutting only whitewood, and for that purpose, the location in the middle of the Finland, it's excellent because it's the most famous whitewood area of Finland. And Isveden Metsä is specialized in customer tailored products, and that's why also the length share is fixed in certain lengths, not falling lengths as many other mills in Finland are doing. Pauli already gave us an excellent presentation about end use segments of Finnish softwood, so I don't need to repeat Pauli's words, but in the picture you can see some pine forests of Finland that they are ready for very good end use. In this slide on the left hand we have pine trunk. It's around 20 centimeter of diameter, and on the right side we have sawn timber pine 50 by 150. We can cut two pieces of this beauty from the 20 centimeter logs, and in this slide you can see how to use this 50 by 150, for example in glulam factory. And of course in glulam factories they use multiple dimensions of Finnish timber, but this is just one example how we go further in processing. And in this picture you can see glulam roof beams. It's not from same factory, but the idea is perfectly same. And this ice hall is in Finland, and because you don't have many ice halls yet in India, so we can see huge potential in ice hall building in India. Here we have pine, 25 by 100 sideboards. And here you can see almost knotless pine, let's say so, but it's an excellent selection of finest pieces of pine in the states of this concert hall, which is located here in my home city, Kuhmo. It's also acoustically excellent material, and this is same concert hall from the hall side, and these walls are soundknot quality pine, also from Kainuu region, a very close area to Kuhmo sawmill. Then we have here log frame, and it's very typical and traditional end use of Finnish timber. This is pine material, and also here sawn timber pine 100 by 150. That could be also same kind of block frame material. And here we have this frame already constructed, and this material is 75 by 150 finger jointed material, also from northern Finland. On the left hand we have pine terrace. This is impregnated after planing, and on the right hand we have we call it cottage flooring quality. It's pine flooring which is made for cottages which are not heated all around the year, so it can be also cold during winter time, and the floor will hold very nicely, even though in very hard conditions. And this kind of flooring is normally KD 18, so it means that it's kiln dried to normal shipping dry conditions. In these white pillars we have used spruce 22 by 100. It's very typical spruce dimension in Finnish sawmills. This table is 50 by 200 pine. This is unsorted quality, and as you can see, it's quite knotless, but it's just because I selected the best part of the planks for this table. But of course, overall the quality in unsorted pine, it's very beautiful. And on right side we have some flower pots. One customer of us has made those, and material is 19 by 75 sideboards. One more example of small log pine raw material, and a box made out of it. Then Pauli also presented gave excellent presentation about spruce. I don't need to tell about that more, but this is shelter for firewood. You can see the color of spruce here. It's relatively light, and as also Pauli told us, we call it white wood in business terms, and it is how it is named. It's relatively white. This school is pioneer project in Finland. It was a CLT frame school, and it's just 1 kilometer away from Kuhmo sawmill. And here you can see only spruce claddings in this picture, and raw material was 32,150, in some parts 32,175. And CLT you can see in these inside pictures. And it was made from different dimensions, of course, but one was 125 spruce C24 graded, and it's very beautiful building overall, and well reputed in Finland as a CLT construction. Here we have same spruce 32175, which was partly used in CLT school, and this cladding is made out of this certain section, and those white parts are mainly 22 by 100 white wood. Same cladding as in previous picture, and stairs are pine. You can see the dimensions here. It's impregnated because it's not under the roof, and it's very durable, even though we have very hard conditions in Finland. During summertime, we might have plus 35 degrees in a very hot day, and during wintertime in Kuhmo area, for example, it can be almost minus 40 degrees. So timber needs to be very, very durable, and it also needs to be durable for the snow and ice, and that is making huge challenges, but we are very lucky that our species are surviving in this kind of conditions. Mr. Aaltonen also mentioned the Chinese spruce usage in, or let's say Finnish spruce usage in Chinese furniture industry. And these two pictures are taken from one factory and their showroom. And traditionally, we sawmillers have been used to sell pine for the furniture industry, but as we have seen during last years, that also Finnish spruce is a very good material also for that purpose. These pictures are thermowood, and I took them from pages of Thermowood Association, so it's not taken by me. But anyway, thermowood is based on top logs and raw material which needs to be sound knotted. And we also saw in Aaltonen's presentation what else you can do from sound knot pine, but this is in thermowood both pine and spruce. And once more, pine trunk, as you can see, it's relatively straight, and enables us to make a very beautiful sawn timber out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heikki, for giving us this wonderful presentation. We are actually running out of time now. We have already kind of overstepped a little bit, but we have got, what we'll do is that just shows that everyone is kind of interested in this. So we'll just take a couple of questions. We have received quite a few questions, but we'll take maybe a couple of questions. And but just Kalpana, I think, would you like to kind of take this further? Yes, Kalpana, you are audible.
I'm audible?
Yes.
So shall we take the questions that has come from the attendees? Since that I can see there are some people who have asked whom to connect for purchasing sawn timber of different sizes?
Would you like to
Hello.
kind of, Kai, would you like to kind of get onto it?
Kai, you are muted.
Yes, sorry. Yes, I already put a link to the chat. I read the question in and answered to it. There's a link. So you might want to visit the homepage of woodfromfinland.fi, or you might want to go to finishsawmills.fi, and there you will find our members directly. And in case well, one easy way is to send an email to me, kai.merivuori@finishsawmills.fi.
Great. Maybe we can put your email ID in this answer list so that it will become easy for people to connect.
Yes.
And one other interesting question which I can see is somebody is asking that India has humid climate. So what is the kind of longevity you see for your pine wood here?
Of course, you cannot use pine outside without treating it, but with proper treatment you can improve the properties substantially. For instance, heat-treated wood, thermal wood, it's an excellent product for many humid circumstances, even though we don't recommend that you put it underwater or in direct contact with earth.
Okay. And there are some questions regarding comparison have come up, like what will be the comparison if there is Germany pine wood and Finland pine wood? How will you compare their strength and density? Kai, you are on mute.
The German pine wood, it grows faster, it is slightly lighter, the knots are bigger, and the quality is a bit less homogeneous than what you get from here. So the key issue is the growth rate. In Germany, the trees grow faster than here.
Thank you, Kai. I think we will kind of try and get back to everyone about with some more information post webinar. But it's time that we have kind of exceeded it's over 10 minutes. So maybe I would like to I would like to invite Mr. Kari Hiltunen, the program head, Wood from Finland program, to give vote of thanks.
Thank you for the introduction, and it's definitely a pleasure to be able to join the event. And on behalf of the organizing organizations, I would like to thank all the participants. It has been a pleasure to see that there has been around 100 people all the time on the lines, and it shows that it's a very important issue and people are interested in the wood issues, if I may say. Also, thank you for excellent presentations. It was very informative, even though I have heard about Finnish wood so many times, still there are some news for me. And special thank for our guest speakers, Mr. Naval and Mr. Abrar, for the insight of Indian markets. It's definitely important for us to understand the demand side as well. And even though we are living in difficult times, and very unusual conditions, it's very important we can continue to keep up our contacts overseas and even create some new business partnerships. And that's why these kind of events are important, and I definitely hope that we can keep on these so that many times in a year, and between these also the continuous communication with each other. And that's why I encourage all of you to contact us and Finnish companies directly, or Mr. Merivuori, as he suggested. Whenever you need help, we in Business Finland are also more than happy to help you when you need some more information or contact information or something like that. You can always send a direct email to me or contact my colleagues in India. They are more than happy to help you guys also. Once again, thank you on behalf of Business Finland. It has been an excellent event. Thanks.
Thank you everyone for attending today. I'm sure the webinar today would actually spur discussions that will facilitate a strong engagement between Finland and India on wood trade. So thanks again for wonderful participation, and we hope to hear from you. Please do write to us. The links have been shared. If you want to know further, please do contact us. And thank you again for your time.